What's up guys, welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And I am quite excited because the Arnold Classic 2019 competitor list has been released, and now I know who I'm up against in the Classic Physique class in Columbus, Ohio. So I'm on stage with 14 others, so there's 15 guys in total competing in Classic Physique, but more about that at the end of this video, where I'll be more detailed about that very phenomena. Anyway, let's talk about the chest workout that we're doing right now. We are actually starting out with seated incline cable flies, a very interesting exercise for sure. This is really also for people who have trouble feeling their chest when doing a bench press, for example. You want to pre-exhaust the chest first, get a very nice pump so that you're aware of where the chest actually is. So the moment that you then do a bench press, you will actually feel the chest contract, feel it stretch, because the blood is already in there. So you're literally conscious about the chest. It increases mind-to-muscle connection. And of course, the seat we have right there, the bench, really ensures that you don't have to stabilize your body and can purely focus on the chest itself. It allows for a perfect stretch and a perfect contraction. And then it is time for the incline bench press. So 2 incline exercises, because the upper chest can never be big enough. So we are letting the bar drop as high as possible, right below the chin, to get a maximum stretch in the upper chest. However, if you normally do this exercise and start it out at the beginning of the workout and you don't feel that stretch, then you should exactly do what I did at the very beginning, is first pump up that chest before doing a compound exercise like the incline bench press, because you really want to feel that stretch in the chest. And the more pump you have in the chest, the better it will be for the stretch. Trust me, you should try that out. And also in terms of weight, because the incline bench press is quite sensitive to the shoulders for some people, what you want to do is find the right incline. I have a bench right there which I can adjust, the incline position with, and a lot of incline bench presses are just set to a very steep incline, which forces you to use a lot of front delts. And that is not really what you want. You really want to focus on the chest. So I already put the incline angle a little lower than usual. You still target the upper chest, but you take away some of the front delt tension. Because a lot of people, when doing a lot of bench presses, they get overdeveloped front delts. A lot of people also tell me that when they train chest, they feel more muscle ache, more soreness in the front delts compared to the chest. So that's not a good sign, because what you want to train is the chest. So a lot of people have this weird posture where their shoulders have been rolled forward, and it's very bad for the shoulder joint. It only causes injuries in the front delts, which is not what you want. So what you want to do is be aware of the chest. Only if you feel the chest you should do that exercise. If you want to train the chest, don't do exercises where you don't feel the chest. That is really bodybuilding, old school bodybuilding 101, where mind-muscle connection is really important. That's what Arnold used to talk about a lot, and nowadays still a lot of bodybuilders talk about, because it simply is what bodybuilding is about. It is not about moving the weight from point A to point B, but it's about stressing the muscle first, and how you stress the muscle is by moving a weight in such a way that you stress the muscle from different angles in the most optimal way. You want to hit as many muscle fibers as possible. So what I'm doing right here is I'm having paused reps, because I really want to tire myself out here. I don't want to use a weight that's way too heavy, because again, if you go too heavy, you might make movements, unexpected movements that involve the front delts. So pausing the barbell at the very bottom actually enhances the recruitment of the chest fibers. So again, that's another thing you can try if you don't feel the chest during a bench press. Pause it at the bottom, and then if you pause it, you have no choice but to use the chest to push the weight back up. You can't use momentum, but the only thing you use is then the chest muscles. And then it is time for the third exercise of the day. This is also an interesting one that I never did before. I've done it a couple of times now, but I never used to do it in all the years of training beforehand. But once you get a little more advanced, or if you want to see some more variation in your workouts, it's important to know what exercises are available to you that could still be of benefit to you. And one of them is the floor press. What the floor press is kind of a different version of a paused press. Like a paused bench press is you pause at the bottom, but then your chest is still under a lot of tension. So you still have the momentum of the chest muscles being under tension, allowing you to actually, push the weight upwards a little easier. You notice that if you do this floor press, the chest is fully relaxed at the bottom. So then you might think, wait a second, Wesley, you're always talking about the time under tension. So why, if the tension is lost at the bottom, why would you do this exercise? Well, there's a simple reason for it. Variation in exercises, and some exercises target the muscles differently. For example, if you do a deadlift, one of the best exercises for building the back thickness in the traps, it literally is the same thing as what I'm doing right here. A dead lift means that the weight is dead on the bottom before. There's no tension in the muscles, and every rep is one rep on its own. So the tension is lost in between. What this does, what this forces you, is the muscle has to restart the rep from the beginning every single time. And this tires the muscle out a lot quicker. What I'm feeling right now is a lot of lactic acid building up in the chest, because every time that my chest is relaxing at the bottom, I'm pressing up right away, but from a dead point. So my chest has to do all the effort all over again from the bottom. So your muscles are pretty much elastics. And that means that when you're at the bottom at a cable fly, for example, when you're fully stretched, you really have the feeling and the tension there to push it back forward. With this exercise, you don't. So it's a different way of activating those muscle fibers, and you will feel it in the muscle for sure. So if you look for variation and something that works, you should try out an exercise like this. And I have to say, the prep to the Arnold Classic is going pretty good, because I have a little less than 12 weeks left, but the conditioning level that I'm at right now, I am happy with. The only thing I'm doing now is really dieting down, losing weight, losing fat, losing water, but I'm still retaining the fullness, as you can see. I'm still getting really good pumps, because I'm doing carb cycling, and today was a high day. So on a high day you can really use those carbs to fuel the muscle really much, and then I use low days combined with cardio to lose a lot of fat on those days. So you really have to work a certain muscle on certain days for maximum benefit. But we are ending this chest session before moving on to the triceps with some bodyweight dips. And you have to do them in succession quite quickly, because otherwise you might be able to do too many reps if you keep resting. And then now you want to keep the pump in the muscle and then use those dips to stretch it out to the max. And that is a great way to finish off a muscle group. And if you do it this way, for example, the first set you can do 20 reps, the second set 15 reps, and the last set maybe 11 or 12, and then you hit failure. So you want to go to failure every single time that you do these dips. And now that you see me posing, I really am planning on doing an incredible posing routine for the Arnold Classic. So I have to be in the top 5 to do the posing routine, and that is something, of course, that I will be in for sure. I just want to show a classic posing routine on the Arnold Classic in front of Arnold Schwarzenegger. What can be greater than that? Anyway, here you can see that I'm really going to failure with the bodyweight dips. And you only have to use the body weight, as I said before. You're already tired out from all the other exercises. If you start out with bodyweight dips, then you might want to add some extra kilograms if you start your workout with that, because then you're still fresh with all the energy because you didn't do any exercises. But you have to know your limits at every point in the workout. And as I mentioned, the triceps have been a weak point for a long time. They are improving quite nicely, especially the long head. And I'm applying little methods here and there to ensure that the long head keeps growing. And one of those methods is by going upwards higher than 90 degrees on an exercise like this, because that stretches out the long head more and that increases the time under tension more. And the better the stretch, the better the contraction, the more time under tension, the more hypertrophy. And of course you have to have correct form. And then you have this exercise right here, an incline French press basically. You can do this on a flat bench as well, but this time I chose for an inclined position. I've done this flat bench variations for quite 4 or 5 times in a row. So then would be good to do a variation with an inclined version. And the inclined version is a little more difficult than the flat version, because here you get a better stretch and it's actually more difficult to make the complete motion. But this way of performing this French press is the best way, in my opinion, to target the long head of the triceps. In a previous video I said it, but Aaron Baker, a classic bodybuilder from the 80s and 90s, actually did this exercise like this. I saw his triceps activating during this exercise and then I knew it. This is how to perform an exercise correctly like this. I never really felt the triceps, especially the long head, during this exercise, but now I really do, because it really mostly is about the stretch that you experience during this exercise. And this stretch is really what makes you feel and be conscious of the triceps filling up with blood. And the more blood gets into the triceps, the more growth will occur. Remember that.
That's a wrap.
Well guys, that was the chest workout. I'm really working on making those gains for the Arnold Classic 2019. Because yesterday the official lineup of every Arnold Classic competitor has been released. And I'm looking at the Classic Physique lineup right now. I'm showing you it right here. As you can see, quite a lot of people are joining, 15 people at least, with some high caliber athletes, such as the number 3 in the world, George Peterson. And I'm seeing another Olympia competitor, Courage Opara. And Keone Pearson is pretty good as well, from what I can see. Danny Hester, of course, a previous Classic Physique Olympia winner. So there's quite a lot of quality in this class. However, this past Olympia didn't go as planned. At least the outcome wasn't as what we expected, what we went for. And I always go for number 1 when I enter a contest. So I have something to prove to you guys, because I will not lose twice in a row. That will not happen. At least I will do my very best to show the very possible best physique that Wesley Vissers can offer on that stage. And as you can see, I'm repping the golden era. And the Arnold Classic right now, honestly, is even more important than winning the Mr. Olympia itself, because at the Arnold Classic, my idol, Arnold Schwarzenegger, will be there awarding the prizes. And of course, you will know that I will do my very best to catch his attention, because to me, that is simply the number 1 icon in bodybuilding, who played a very big part in me wanting to create the physique that I have right now. So, what do I need to do to actually be competitive at the Arnold Classic? Well, first of all, I need to be incredibly conditioned. As of right now, if everybody came in at how they came in at the last Olympia, at least the Olympia guys, George Peterson would win, and he is the most conditioned of them all. So what I need to do is beat them all with conditioning, and then, of course, bring the ultimate classic shape that you are used to seeing of me. But also, I will increase the weak points that I had, because the legs are increasing quite nicely, the triceps are increasing, the back thickness is increasing. So I'm going to bring my best possible package there. I will be making a separate video about what I'll be doing for the Arnold Classic. I will be showing you a lot more videos. Right now I'm in, for example, in a carb cycle of 3 different carbohydrate days. So I just want to show you guys exactly what I'm doing to get in the best possible conditioned shape for the day of the show. I already booked the plane tickets, booked the hotel, everything is done, set, ready to go. So guys, I want to thank you so much for the support, because literally, if you wonder, I do this YouTube, I make money with the YouTube, I make money with the nutrition plans, the coaching and the training plans, and with selling the clothing on vintagenext.com. And most of the money I invest back into my bodybuilding career. So I just want to thank you guys so much for the support you have shown me, because without you it would have been difficult for me, because remember, I live in the Netherlands, so the shows to London, to Chicago, to Las Vegas, and now to Ohio have all been paid by money that I earned with this YouTube venture. So that's just incredible that I'm able to do that by living my passion. So I just want to make it grow even more. So a lot more videos are coming. I just want to show you a lot more about what's going on. And once again, thank you for the golden support. I want to thank you for watching. And as I said, a lot more videos are coming. Videos specifically about the Arnold Classic will be coming. And do not forget, of course, to stay golden.